Imagine your coach stepping up in front of everyone and just saying exactly what he thinks about a player. No sugarcoating, no polite wording to soften it. That's exactly what John Harbaugh just did about Travis Jones. And honestly, what he said could completely change how we see this guy's future with the Ravens. This wasn't some casual compliment, and it wasn't a pep talk to fire up practice. It was a statement that shows just how much Jones' future could impact the team this season. And when a coach of Harbaugh's caliber speaks with that kind of weight, you know something big is coming. But the most surprising part? It all traces back to a detail that barely anyone noticed last year. The Baltimore Ravens are heading into 2025 with a roster that already demands respect, packed with names who've proven their worth and know what it takes to win. But even with all those stars ready to deliver another strong campaign, there's a special focus on a smaller group of players, the ones who haven't yet reached their full potential but could make that critical leap this year. Among them, one name has been quietly gaining attention behind the scenes: Travis Jones. He's about to start his 4th NFL season, all in purple and black, coming off his first year as a full-time starter, a huge step that now serves as a foundation for an even bigger ambition. Jones' journey so far has been a steady climb. In his first 2 seasons, he was a player who comes in, does his job, and learns from the veterans. In 2024, he took on more responsibility and proved he could handle the workload even under tough conditions. That changed how the franchise views him. He's no longer just part of the rotation. He's seen as a building block, someone who could become central to the team's defensive identity in the coming years. The confidence placed in him didn't happen overnight. It's been earned through hard work and practice, impactful moments in games, and consistent presence on the field. What makes the expectation so high is that even after a solid season as a starter, everyone inside the building believes Jones hasn't hit his ceiling yet. There's a sense that he has more power, more impact, and more consistency to offer. And when a team like the Ravens spots that potential, expectations naturally come with pressure. It's like they're saying, "We know you're already good, but we want to see you dominate, change games, and be a nightmare for any offense in the league." That's the challenge Jones carries into 2025, and also his biggest opportunity. Having a player like Jones healthy and at his peak can mean more than just stats on a sheet. He could be the stabilizing force for a defense that already has talent at every position but needs game-changing pieces in the toughest moments. A dominant defensive tackle opens lane for linebackers, pressures a quarterback, and commands respect in the trenches. That's why this year is so important for him, and why every practice, every snap, every detail is being watched closely. And the confidence he's getting isn't just from excited fans. It starts at the top, with John Harbaugh making it clear what he expects from Jones and what he's already seeing at the start of camp. Last Wednesday, Harbaugh made it clear that the excitement around Travis Jones isn't temporary or just motivational talk. Speaking to the media after practice, the head coach was blunt. Jones is having an excellent training camp. And this wasn't just praise for what he's doing now. Harbaugh stressed that this level of performance is a result of 3 years of steady work with the team. For a coach who values consistency and commitment, that's a level of respect and trust few players earn so early in their careers. The tone Harbaugh used stood out, too. It wasn't just a casual, "he's doing well." It came across almost like a declaration. Jones is already part of the team's core group, the players the coaching staff trusts to carry big responsibilities. Harbaugh spoke about how Jones shows up, the energy he brings to practice, and the impact he's already making on the group. When a coach with Harbaugh's experience expresses that kind of excitement, it's because he sees a real potential to elevate the team's performance. This vote of confidence isn't handed out lightly, especially on a Ravens defense known for its high standards. Harbaugh knows Jones will be reliable, and now the goal is dominance. That creates a type of pressure that can be positive, the kind that pushes a player to take the next step. Players who know they have the coach's backing step onto the field with more confidence, ready to make plays and impose their game. And that confidence becomes even more meaningful when you consider what Jones dealt with last year. To understand just how big 2025 could be, you have to look at how he performed under less than ideal conditions. Not many people noticed at the time, but 2024 was a massive challenge for Travis Jones. He suffered a high ankle sprain, an injury that for most players would mean missing crucial weeks of the season. But Jones not only stayed on the field, he played all 17 games. That alone says a lot about the kind of professional he is and the mindset he brings to every game. Even limited physically, Jones put up solid numbers. 42 tackles, including 4 for loss and 1 sack. On paper, it might not scream dominance, but considering he battled constant pain and limited mobility, it's even more impressive. Playing on the defensive line demands explosiveness, balance, and full strength, all things directly impacted by a high ankle injury. Being available and competitive every single game didn't go unnoticed. For the coaching staff, it's proof of resilience and commitment. Jones showed it's not just physical talent. He has mental toughness, the kind of attitude that inspires teammates and builds trust that when he's healthy, he can deliver even more. And that's exactly where the 2025 expectations spike. If he produced like that while limited, just imagine what he could do fully healthy. Heading into 2025 fully healthy means Travis Jones can play at the absolute top of his potential. Without the movement restrictions or lingering pain from last year, he can regain explosive first steps, full strength in contact, and the agility to close gaps fast. These are all crucial for a defensive tackle who wants not just to fill a role, but to be a constant problem for opposing offensive lines. The Ravens know a fully fit Jones could change the entire dynamic of the defensive front. He opens lanes for linebackers, collapses the pocket, forces quarterback errors, and disrupts any attempt to run the ball effectively. This is a foundation of the team's plan to reinforce a defense that's already strong. It's not just about stats. It's about the invisible impact a dominant player in the middle can have. The timing is perfect for this growth. Jones has enough experience to understand offensive schemes and adapt quickly, yet still has the youth and energy to push his physical limits. With the coaching staff tweaking schemes to put him in situations to shine, the path is wide open for him to have his best NFL season yet. And that progress is already showing in camp. So much so that Jones' name is being mentioned alongside one of the greatest offensive legends in Ravens history.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video. But before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
When Haloti Ngata's name comes up in a conversation about defensive tackles, every Ravens fan knows it's serious. Ngata wasn't just a great player. He was the face of Baltimore defensive identity for years, a 5-time All-Pro, and a key piece of the Super Bowl 47 championship team. So hearing that Travis Jones is reminding people inside the building of Ngata is more than a compliment. It's recognition that he's showing signs of something special. This comparison isn't thrown around lightly. It comes from people who lived through Ngata's impact and now see parallels in how Jones moves, controls space, and asserts his presence physically. For a rising player, being put in that conversation means his performance in practice is exceeding expectations and catching the eye of those who really know the game. Of course, Jones still has a long way to go to reach Ngata's level, but even being mentioned alongside him carries weight. In Baltimore, the legacy of great defenders is taken seriously, and being linked to it means a player is being evaluated by the highest standards that can push him to keep raising his game, not just to match the legend, but to create his own mark in franchise history. And that legacy isn't just a flattering story for fans. It comes with silent pressure and expectations that could shape Jones' future in the NFL. Being compared to Haloti Ngata means carrying more than just praise. It's the responsibility of keeping alive a tradition of strength, technique, and leadership that defined Ravens' defense for over a decade. Ngata wasn't just physically dominant. He was a quiet leader, respected in the locker room, and feared by opponents. When that parallel is made, it comes with expectations for behavior, posture, and results. For Jones, that means understanding that every game is a chance to prove the comparison is valid. Fans will be watching closer. Coaches will expect more, and opponents will start preparing differently to face him. That kind of attention can turn a player into a star or expose weaknesses. This is a fine balance that defines Jones' challenge in 2025. At the same time, carrying that legacy can fuel the drive for excellence. The motivation to write his own name alongside one of the franchise's greatest offensive icons can push Jones to train harder, study more, and evolve constantly. It's not just about matching numbers. It's about making an impact at that elite level. And if that growth happens, the ripple effects of the Ravens could go far beyond individual recognition. It could directly influence the team's boldest ambitions this season. A dominant, healthy, and confident Travis Jones could make the Ravens' defense even more dangerous. The team already has an explosive offense led by an MVP and a solid defense across all positions. Adding that extra element of intimidation and control on the defensive line could be the difference between a good team and a championship contender. When a defensive tackle can collapse the pocket and shut down the run by himself, it completely changes how opponents plan. That creates opportunities for the whole defense, from the pass rushers to the secondary, which can play more aggressively knowing the quarterback has less time to react. It's the kind of domino effect that can decide big games. Looking at the franchise's history, some of the most successful campaigns came when the defense had a dominant presence in the middle of the line. It was true with Ngata, and the Ravens believe it can be true with Jones. If he reaches the level everyone inside the building expects, Baltimore could once again position itself as a real Super Bowl contender. That's why, more than just following one player's performance, fans and coaches will have their eyes on every step Travis Jones takes this season. His success could be the key that unlocks another historic year for Baltimore. Travis Jones isn't just a promising name on the Ravens' defense anymore. He's becoming a player who could change the course of the season. The trust from John Harbaugh, overcoming a tough injury, comparisons to Haloti Ngata, and his potential to perform without limits put number 98 in the spotlight. And if he lives up to those expectations, Baltimore could gain exactly the boost it needs to turn a strong defense into an unstoppable wall. Now the question is, do you believe Travis Jones can reach that level and become the next big name on the Ravens' defensive line? One thing is certain. If he hits that mark, the impact will be felt throughout the locker room and could be the deciding factor in putting Baltimore back on the Super Bowl path. Every snap he takes in 2025 will carry weight far beyond the stats. The season is almost here, and all eyes are on Travis Jones.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.